Dan from the Wonder Years. How are you? This band came about because we thought it would be funny, really. We were all about to go away to college and we thought this would be fun, we'll write a song and then we'll go away to college and I'll see you guys never again. Not really, but obviously not as often as we were seeing each other. And then it was like, hey, we're all gonna be home this weekend, you guys wanna write another song? Like, oh, you guys wanna play a show? You guys wanna do a little weekend tour? And then it just kind of spiraled out of control. And then a couple years later we graduated college and we're like, well, I guess we're going on tour full time now. See, a degree that I got for no reason, but not for no reason. Good to have a college degree. We lived in a town called Lansdale, or 3 members of the band lived in a town called Lansdale, and Lansdale had this really burgeoning DIY scene where every weekend, at least once a weekend, we had a show going on, and bands would come from all over the Northeast, sometimes all over the country to come play in Lansdale. And so it kind of gave you this logical progression, this next step, like, okay, I can play a bass guitar now, and I want to be in a band, and I'm looking at, you know, Mark Hoppus playing a bass guitar, but I can't do that yet. There's no way I'm going to play these huge shows. Well, what do you play first? Like, I think a lot of kids get kind of stumped on that. They're like, what do you play before you play the big venues? We had that option immediately. It was, well, we go play the Knights of Columbus Hall down the street. That's the first thing. If we can get our foot in the door there, then that's the first step. So that was a big influence, and a big, what's the word I want to use here? I'm lost on it. Well, interview over. I'm gonna need to take a while to think about this. I don't know. You know what I meant, though. It's like it's the first step in the natural progression to doing what we're doing now. I had really young parents, not incredibly young, not like 12, but like 20, 21, and so they were obviously really still engrossed into like music and popular culture. And like, you know, when we were in the car with my dad, I was listening to the Ramones and Nirvana and the Sex Pistols instead of like, I don't know what else other kids listen to. Maybe everyone listened to the Ramones, but maybe not. I remember when Dookie came out, Green Day was just like non-stop spun in my dad's car, and I was 6 maybe, so you're still pretty, you know, right in the backseat at that point. By the time that decision had happened, we were doing pretty well playing music. Not as well as we would be doing if we were working like real 9-to-5 jobs, but you know, everyone could tell that we loved it. We're not, you know, borrowing money from mom to pay my cell phone bill anymore. Like, we're doing okay, and you know, there's no reason to not let us do it. So I don't know, I think everyone was really happy about it. My dad still comes out to a lot of the shows. All of our families come out when we play in Philly, and they like to see it. They get excited about it. You know, they see us doing what we wanted to do since we were 13. So if you're not creative, you're not an artist. That's really the only thing you can say about that. If there's no creativity, then there's what's not art. It's all a struggle. That's just how it kind of is. When you want to play music, there isn't an easy day. The easy days don't really exist for a while, and then eventually you get to them, but they're still few and far between. I mean, every day that you're on tour, there will be a new challenge.
Murphy's Law.
And yeah, that's it. Everything that's gonna go wrong everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Always, 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 always. So it's about preparing for the worst. It's about never letting that stop you. I mean, every day something's gonna be shitty. We went through 3 vans in 3 weeks once. We had a van. It was more or less broken down. We went to Europe, and we were like, all right, all the money we make from Europe, we're gonna use to buy a new van. And then in Europe, we got lost and we missed our flights. So we already took a quarter of the money and bought new flights home. So they don't reimburse you for that shit. If you miss your flights, you're fucked. That's the end of that. And in Germany, it's even way harder because like, I don't speak any German. Someone please put me on a plane back to America. Nah. And we got home, we're like, okay, well, maybe we can get some more life out of this van, and it died immediately. Like, we were home and we had like 3 days, and we were like, shit, well, we leave for tour in 2 weeks for the Streetlight Tour. So we went out looking for a van, and this guy Harold told us our first van, who is the craziest man. He hates his neighbor so much that he wrote a parody of Desperado called Garibaldi in like intense detail, and sung me the entire thing and demands we do a cover of it. And not only a cover of it, but press it to vinyl and send it to him.
That's amazing.
but he's a crazy dude, but he sells vans. Hey, shut up. So we went to him, and he had this like beat as shit van, but it was kind of running. I mean, it ran real well, but it was a total. I mean, it was destroyed. But we passed on that, and we found this other one, and we had $9 grand to buy a van, and this one was $6 grand, and we were like, oh, we'll take it. And they were like, oh, well, we can't sell it to you. And I was like, well, why? There's a hole in the frame, like a little tiny hole, and it doesn't even matter. It's not a big deal at all. But we only sell perfect vehicles here, so we wouldn't be able to sell it to you. And I was like, oh, no, please sell it to me, I need it. And they said, okay, but then we're not gonna give you any warranty. And I said, well, okay, I mean, that's fine, but let me go. And I took it down the street, got it checked out by another mechanic. This is a long ass story. Other mechanic said it's good to go, bought the van. 3 days later, the van stopped working completely. The engine just stopped. And I was like, but it broke, and they were like, yeah, no warranty, suck it. And I was like, shit, I just got grifted. So now we only had $3 grand left, and we had already left the tour. We did the first couple dates in an SUV and a minivan. We took 2 vehicles, and then there was an off date in Philly because we went to Baltimore and Jersey and did an off day in Philly, and we went back to Harold, and I was like, I will take your piece of shit van. That had, like, you could literally, in the back, you could see through the van to the street. And we bought it. And we took it home, and we spent all night building the loft in it, and we put the trailer on it, and we left for the show, and there was in North Jersey that day, and we got 10 miles from the house. We hit the brakes real hard, and the trailer hitch ripped out the bottom of the van because it was so rusted. The trailer hit the ground, the side walls of the trailer popped off, so that van was done too. So then we had to take out a loan, buy a new van, and then finish the tour with a trailer that wasn't like necessarily on the frame or legal at all. So I don't know. It doesn't really ever get easy. It takes 100% of your energy 100% of the time. You can't half-ass it ever. If you get an email at 3 in the morning and it's important, you wake up at 3 in the morning and answer the email. You know, I'm glued to my phone. We're doing work all day, every day. You just have to be prepared for that kind of commitment if you really want to do it. We're lucky to have a job like this. That doesn't mean that it's not an incredibly difficult job. There's not really a lot of... I don't know, what I'm trying to tell you is it's cool as hell, but it's definitely not easy, and don't ever expect it to be easy. It's Dan from the 1 Years, this is HiddenCitySounds, and you should do what you love.